Welcome back to Observer AM. I'm Jacqui Quinn, your host. It is now 8:39 in Antigua and Barbuda and across the OECS. Integrated Health Outreach is offering a wonderful opportunity for a young person to be certified in biodiversity conservation. It's a fully funded opportunity to gain a certification in what's called collaborative social accountability and biodiversity conservation. Participation in the course will be free of cost to approved students through fully funded scholarships. Now, this opportunity is being made possible through a partnership between IHO and the prestigious Santo Domingo Institute for Technology, INTEC, endorsed by the World Bank with support from the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, CEPF, and the World Bank's Global Partnership for Social Accountability, GPSA. We are very pleased to have on the Zoom platform Dr. Nicola Bird. She is the Executive Director of Integrated Health Outreach, Inc. Good morning, Doc, and welcome to Observer AM.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning to you and everyone listening.
Great. Now, for those of us who may not know, what exactly is collaborative social accountability?
I know the name is quite a mouthful.
Yes.
And it's actually really simple. So despite the complicated title that might feel a little off-putting, I really want to be here to reassure everyone that it's actually a very relatable concept. The idea is that the community and the government come together in a collaborative way to address issues and find solutions. And in this case, it's in reference to and regards to conservation and biodiversity. So to date, we have been integrating this project for the past 3 years. And that's what we have been doing with really lovely, successful results. And so it is the way that people can learn how we can approach in a solution-oriented way rather than a combative or a complaining way.
Mm-hmm. So it's all about collaboration. Now we hear a lot about biodiversity conservation. I mean, it is now become the sexy term. It's a term that everybody is talking about. Climate change, biodiversity conservation. Why is it so very important in today's world, Doc?
Oh, wow. Well, conservation is so important because we're very aware of climate change. I mean, we're blessed in Antigua and Barbuda that our nationals are aware and acknowledge climate change because we're witnessing it all the time in terms of storms and weather patterns and reduced shorelines and all the issues that we are facing. Sahara dust, sargassum, all these things that are impacting our environment. And one of the things I'll first start with, outside of obviously the introduction, is that biodiversity is everything that is nature, including us. Whoa. We are part of biodiversity. So biodiversity isn't something that's happening out there, and it's the plants and animals. We're part of that. And we depend on our environment for everything. Mm-hmm. So it's close to us, it's a part of us. So when we don't take an interest in it, it is significantly impacted, and our environment has been severely impacted, not just by climate change, but development, poor waste management, poor waste patterns of behavior. And it's not just a national problem, it's a significant global problem. It's affecting us all globally. And so that's why it's so important, because we are losing species.
Yeah.
We are losing our biodiversity at an alarming rate that's having a serious impact on us currently and certainly going into the future.
Yeah. Now, explain to us why, how this course will be delivered, why it's so important for young people to take advantage of this great opportunity that's being offered by IHO and the World Bank and so on, and who is eligible to participate in this particular program.
Thank you. Well, all people are eligible to participate. So you can certainly apply, and it's not just to young people only, although we are certainly really wanting to have specific outreach that our younger nationals are really engaged in the concept of solution finding. So it's a 10-week course. It is certified by Santo Domingo Institute of Technology, or INTEC. And they might not be as familiar with us in the English-speaking Caribbean, but they are a well-respected university. And so it will be a university-certified course. It is endorsed by the World Bank, who's one of the donors for it, and the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund that has invested in conservation and biodiversity in the region for the past decade. So, and they are currently reinvesting for conservation. So the why it's so important is that the great thing about what this course does is it doesn't just present the problem, it also presents the solution. What can we do?
Yes.
So when I'm talking about all these issues, biodiversity and conservation, it just seems so overwhelming in my mind. And a lot of people feel that way. What can we do? It's out there. And what we want to do is, here's the problem, and here's what we can do to make change, actions that we can take, how we can come together as a community and work with what is called the duty bearers or government institutions to, again, create the change that we're looking for, to know that our voices can be heard. And so I really encourage all nationals to really come on board. It's available. We've had actually really robust registration. So I say, get on, register now. And we've had it from different community groups and government departments. And so there really is a very good interest. So anyone can certainly, reach out and participate.
You did mention that it's not necessarily for young people, but are you aiming for any particular demographic?
Well, we're not saying if you're not in that age group, you can't register, but we are encouraging younger people. So there is an aim to really target younger people, but we are looking for community groups, people who are part of a community group rather than an individual.
Yeah.
And so even if your community group isn't already working in the environment, but you are interested in working in the environment and increasing your awareness, we are specifically targeting groups in the NEMA area, which is the Northeast Marine Management Area, because that's the targeted area for the group. And that stretches from Shell Beach to Mill Reef area. So it's quite extensive. So that is really the target group, target community groups, but people all throughout the island come to those areas, do work in those areas. So there are groups that you might be doing cleanup in that area and participate. So once you're interested in national well-being and you participate, then absolutely, you are certainly encouraged to come on board.
Is there a particular deadline, and what's the registration process? Do you have a site that persons can go and register, or a telephone number, or a link or something?
Yes, we do. So you can go onto all of our social medias and find the registration link. So we are on Facebook, IHOAB.com. Sorry, not .com. We are. Our website is www.ihoab.com. And so are our social media, IHOAB on Facebook and IHO_AB on Instagram. But even if you just search integrated health outreach, you'll find us. But it's easy, the IHO, I think, AB, because it's IHO Antigua Barbuda, is easy to remember.
Yes.
And so you can find the links on those sites, and you can also email any interest at info@ihoab.com as well, and we can provide the link.
And is there a deadline?
The course starts April 30th, so the deadline is April 26th.
Excellent.
And it's twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 to 8.
And this is an online platform?
It isn't online, and we will have instructors throughout the region, so very qualified. I will be one of the instructors, but we'll have one from St. Lucia, qualified environmentalist from Santo Domingo. So it will be very interesting because it will be include a lot of dynamic and experienced and exciting instructors.
Do you have a limit as to how many persons can be a part of this program? Can you accept 100 persons?
Yeah, we can. It is on a university platform, and it is an outreach to the English-speaking Caribbean, targeting Antigua, Barbuda, Jamaica, and St. Lucia in particular, because the project is being implemented it's a Caribbean project, as well as St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Bahamas. So it is quite inclusive. So I say absolutely. We've had Antiguan and Barbudans have turned up in droves, and I'm very, very impressed with our national interest. And so I think don't let the idea that it's a 10-week course and do I have the time get in your way, because I think that you will really come away feeling well-informed, armed with solutions, and you can also register with the organization IHO for the different projects that we're implementing. Like, we do have a nature rangers branch of the organization that we implement environmental, where we have active participation from groups in different activities that we do as an organization, so that you can leave the course and really get involved and participate and not just be left on your own after the course going, what do I do with this now?
Yeah.
So it's not that you don't just finish the course and off you go. We do have organization will continue to provide support, and you can be part of the different activities that we're doing, that it's part of the solution.
And I like the concept that you are not only upskilling them, but you are allowing them now to cross-skill, to use those skills in a practical way. Because, having something on paper, a certification on paper, and not being able to apply it, that's really not useful. Talk to us, Doc, about your partners, how this educational opportunity is being funded, because I do know that it requires funding.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, and always acknowledge our partners. So this project is under a World Bank and Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund project, and so they are the donors for it. It's a 4-year project throughout the region, and specifically on using collaborative social accountability tools and mechanisms in terms of better conserving and protecting our environment. And what it is again, is getting the communities involved and the government involved in creating change. And so this is part of the capacity building for the community, so that the project is sustainable. The more knowledge we have, the more awareness we have, the more skills we have. So this was one of the activities that, as a team, we came together, and that again is a regional team, came together and decided would be available. We make available to the citizens. So it was first actually implemented in Dominican Republic. That had a great turnout and great results. And so this is now the English-speaking version of that. And so yes, we thank our partners, World Bank, and the Global Partnership for Social Accountability under a department within the World Bank and CEPF.
Yes. And IHO, your organization, Integrated Health Outreach, you're doing such great work in Antigua in all sorts of areas. Talk about your role in this collaboration.
Thank you. Well, I'm the project manager for this particular project. The organization is a well-being focused organization, and that, of course, is a very broad stroke, because well-being is environmental well-being, social well-being, economic well-being, mental health, across all platforms. And so in this particular project, I am supporting it in terms of project management, training, implementation, and outreach and networking. And I'll just very quickly just give one, for instance, and so that when people are hearing what is collaborative social accountability and how it's actually actualized. So we have done outreach to the government, outreach with the communities in terms of this communities in the NEMA area, and everybody's come on board, which is very exciting. And we've been hosting meetings twice, 3 times a year with the government who are working in areas of the environment or educational awareness in terms of environment, and the communities come together. So the communities first have expressed what their interests are, what the gaps are, what they'd like to see us change in terms of actions by the government. We've been able to do outreach to the government, and they've come on board. And so one of the most exciting changes that we've seen as a result of these community gatherings with the government departments is the community had come out and said, we want to see more education and awareness building in terms of environment and conservation. And so we approached the Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education came on board, came to the meeting. And when they heard the communities saying this is what we needed to see, the educational officer, Mr. Philip Lloyd, went back, and this was in June. And by September, they had added conservation and biodiversity was part of the grade 4 curriculum, but it wasn't part of grade 6. So they added to the grade 6 curriculum, and they made it part of one of the electives in the grade 6 school leaving assessment. So put a lot of more priority. So they actually added to the curriculum in grade 6 and made it part of the school leaving assessment, which gives it a lot more awareness building. So just to say, this is a huge accomplishment based on the fact that people came out, the community expressed their what was of interest and what they would like to see as a change, and we got the response. And I want to say that because a lot of times people think there's no point, and we heard that at the beginning. What's the point? No change is going to happen, but change does happen. And when we can come together, we can make a difference. And this is an example of how this kind of approach can be effective and create sustained change.
We want to thank you so very kindly, Doc, for coming in and talking to us about this very important scholarship opportunity. And it's young people, middle-aged, anybody can be a part of it. Certification in collaborative social accountability and biodiversity conservation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, and have a lovely day.
Great. And that last voice you heard, that was Dr. Nicola Bird, the Executive Director of Integrated Health Outreach, Inc. All right. We